Welcome to SMPostcards. Today we got a full agenda. Right down here in the corner, over here. Got what's sold. I sold 14 cards on eBay. Sales have been pretty good lately. It's still up and down, as inconsistent with reselling is. There's different things with reselling. There's three things you need to get over if you're going to resell. One is inconsistent sales. They're going to go up and down like a roller coaster. It can trend out, depends on the niche you're in and stuff like that. But most of the time it will be a little bit inconsistent. You have some busy days, some slow days, some medium days. You just got to get used to it and work with the trend. The second thing is feedback. People need to know they're working with the public. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's looking for a deal. Or that some people just go out and buy. All different folks. So don't base your whole business on feedback and get all bent out of shape when there's a negative or a neutral or someone says something about your store. It's just an opinion of persons. I don't take feedback to heart that much because it's freeform. People can put whatever they want in there. Sure, I'll address them and stuff like that. I'm not stupid. I'll take a look at a negative and see if I can get it removed if it's something that I have no control of, like postage and stuff. A lot of times you just write them. I usually write a negative every year for some reason. Somebody didn't like a postcard, but very rarely and stuff. So, and then the next one is refunds. Whenever you're in retail, you're going to have refunds. You need to work that into your price. I have a 3% threshold for refunds, always have. I don't get many refunds at all. I don't even base it as a piece of my business that's real heavy. So if I had to refund a $17.75 card this year, it just didn't show up in the mail. So I'll refund it. I'll wait 30 days, 90 days. I did eBay standard envelope. It's under $20, and I'll get my refund. I had no problem. But I don't get many refunds. But you got to get over inconsistent sales, feedback, and refunds. Once you work those three issues and get that personal part of the business, then you can move forward. But don't let that drive your business. You gotta be conscious of it, all of that, the feedback and stuff. But if you're getting a lot of negative feedback, yeah, look at it. If you're getting a lot of positive at ship fast, ship good, ship fast, ship good, everybody leaves that. But it's a good indicator of how you're shipping, because people will tell you if you shipped it wrong, especially the collectors. And refunds, it's just the nature of the business. But if it's over 3% in my book, then I will be more aggressive. But right now, it's not even 0.1%, not even that, for refunds overall. Then we're going to get into skiing postcards for the special topic. And then the poll is, how many followers do you have in your eBay store? If you have an eBay store, starter, basic, premium, anchor, you can tell in your store, if you look at it as a buyer or whatever, you can see the followers. And I watch that number every month. I write it down and just see what it is. And I'll tell you my opinion of it and what other people say about it as well. And I also found a Reddit forum. Not much on the eBay help about followers, but a Reddit forum had some comments that I copied that we'll talk about. And then I got about 5 viewer comments to go over. One of them is from Happy Bunny. Do you store standard and continental postcards together in your inventory? I'll give you my opinion on what I do, and then other people have jumped in and did different things. And it's not what I do, it's whatever system you have. But you always got to have a starting point, so I give people what I do and why I do it. But let's go ahead and get into what's sold. Again, I sold 14 cards. One guy bought a bunch of cards. The first one sold for $5.17. I must have sent an offer. It's Manhattan Bridge Approach, New York. It's a divided back, 1913 posted. That's the bridge approach right there. They liked bridges back in the day. But it was posted in 1913, $5.17. Next one was $4.75. This is a Charles E. Albert Hall of Science at Davis and Elkins College in Elkins, West Virginia. West Virginia. This one is a West Virginia, but it didn't comp out to be real heavy. So I put up for $4.75. Chrome card sold. Next one sold for $7.75. This is the Fort Yuma Question Museum. So it's a museum in Fort Yuma, Arizona. $7.75. Just a chrome card. I must have looked it up real quick and found that it was a little bit higher. This one sold for $7.75. West End, Oak Island. Not the TV show in Nova Scotia, Canada. This is West End, Oak Island, New York. Older card, posted in 1921. It looks a little older than that, but they could have had it in a drawer. And it says, from Oak Beach, Long Island, New York. So it's in New York, not Oak there. And that sold for $7.75. Rock Home Gardens. I think it's an Amish area. Little guy with a horse right there. I got a batch of these in. Some of them I didn't list, some I did. And that sold for $4.75. Chrome card. Next one is U.S. Naval Base, Subic Bay, Philippines. Subic Bay was a place that the Navy guys went to. My brother was stationed in the Philippines. He remembers Subic Bay. He ever goes back. So it's part of the ship, naval ship lot I got. I could probably have 100 or so of these cards left. And that's $4.75. Next one is a popular library room in Enoch Pratt Library, Baltimore, Maryland. Real thin paper stock. Postcard. Somebody put $1 on it there. I don't remove those. It's the history of the card. I just leave it. That sold for $4.75. Next person bought 6 cards for $32.30. They're all Bermuda cards. Bermuda, I always bump up $1 to start. And I think this lot I had to pay up a little bit on an online auction. So everything starts at $5.75 basically for Bermuda. Anything Caribbean is my starting point. This is the Capistrano Heronway House, Smith Parish, Bermuda. Unposted chrome card. Remember, these 6 sold for $32.30. Terrace Pool at Ledgedlets, Bermuda. Unposted chrome card. Pink Beach Club in Cottage Colony, Tuckerstown, Bermuda. This one was posted. Next is a vertical card of a country road in Bermuda. Just a country road. And it was posted, can't tell when it was posted, but that's a country road. Bermuda. Probably listed that because it was in Bermuda. This is the Terrace Room, Hamilton Hotel, Bermuda. Hamilton's a big town there. And can't tell when this was posted. So he's on a Bermuda kick. And this is some kind of hotel. Got the British flag on there. 1907 posted on there. Just an inset of the hotel in Bermuda. So those 6 cards sold for $32.30. And I'll get those out to the gentleman. Next one is like a romance card. I usually don't list a lot of these, but I got some that were in really good shape, had not bad corners and stuff. And this is Kiss Me Kid and Know You're Living. I call these romance. So when I do a title for these, I put postcard, romance, and then I usually put some of the title here, because a lot of times you don't get a town or a city or anything like that. But I'll put the first sentence a little bit in there, on there, and then if it's posted on. This has got writing and stuff, but it's not posted. I think it was posted because it's got this right here, but I'm not for sure. It's got an O and X, could be a kiss, whatever. But sometimes back in the day, that's how they do it, but I don't see a stamp on it, so. But that's a romance card. So I sold 14 cards. My goal this year is 16. Missed it by 4. I'm probably about 13 cards. Is floating around 13, 14 cards for the average for the year. So I'm down 2 cards from my goal, which isn't bad, because we're still in the first part of the year. So I should be close to my 16 goal. I did $79.44 with all the cards I showed you. My goal is to do $80 a day. I missed this one, but I could say I made it, but I missed it by about 56 cents. So I'm pretty good there. That one bigger order helped with that. For the year, I'm definitely over $80 a day. I have no problem. I'm way over that, because I had some very good days and stuff like that. So the average for the year, I'm fine. I'm going to end the year above my money goal. Now my card goal, I might be down 2 or 1 or 3, but my money goal's there. And then my ASP, if you take 79.44 and divide it by 14, it'll give you your average sale price. And these are not all scientific numbers. I'm not going to get down to the penny and make sure this, it just basically gives me a ballpark. Am I moving what direction? Is it a side trend, downtrend, or uptrend? And my average sale price came to $567. So it's kind of a side trend, but it's a little bit up what I was doing a couple years ago. So I'm still moving in the right direction with that. I'm never going to have $12, $15, $20, $30 average sale price with the cards I sell in the niche I'm in. I know that. I'm going to be between $5 and $8. And I'm happy with where I'm moving with that and the number of cards I'm selling. And the dollars are coming in because I've sold some pretty good cards to some people. But it'll level out. You'll have an average, and that's where you should work, is the average. Don't look at try to be the top seller or the bottom seller. I want to be the best average postcard seller with the best average profit in sales and the number of cards sold that eBay ever had. I'm not looking to be top, whatever. That's what's sold. Now we're going to talk about skiing. Winter skiing postcards. You do get some water skiing in there. So when we get the sell-through rate, we're going to have to look at the range really close on this, because skiing, you get water skiing, you get other things in there. And also I did find this other thing that popped in there I had to take out. Did my best to take all this out. I'm not going to go through all these listings and take everything out. So that's why I use ranges. Let me know if I'm in the ballpark. But I'm going to talk a little bit about skiing, the history of it, set a foundation, pique your curiosity. And while I do that, I'm going to show you some postcards I found with skiing on them, so you get an idea of what to look for. Here we go. Skiing postcards have a cool history that goes way back. In the olden days, people used to send postcards to share their skiing adventures with friends and family. These postcards were like little snapshots of the snowy fun they had on the slopes. Imagine getting a postcard with a picture of someone doing awesome tricks on skis. It must have been super exciting. Back in the early 1900s, skiing postcards became really popular. Skiers would pose for pictures, showing off their stylish moves, and those images turned into postcards that were sent all over the place. It was a way for people to say, hey, I had an amazing time skiing, and I want to see you to see it too. These postcards were like a window in the snowy world of skiing, and they helped spread the love of this cool winter sport. As time went on, skiing postcards became not just about showing off skills, but about capturing the beauty of snowy landscapes and cozy mountain villages. People would send these postcards to share the joy of winter, making skiing even more special. So the next time you see a vintage skiing postcard, remember, it's just not a piece of paper. It's a glimpse into the history of snowy adventures and the fun that people have on skis. I did come up with 3 facts here I thought were interesting. The first one is the remote village of Skedaddle. I'll put it right down here. Skedaddle, that's the name. In Norway, has an eccentric tradition where locals celebrate Backward Ski Day. Backward Ski Day. Skiers not only navigate the slopes backwards, but also wear their ski gear in reverse, creating a surreal and amusing spectacle for onlookers. So, reverse skiing. Second fact, at the Ski Through Spa in Switzerland, skiers can take a detour mid-slope to indulge in a quick spa treatment. Imagine gliding down the mountain, then seamlessly transitioning into a hot tub or sauna without ever removing your ski gear. An unconventional fusion of relaxation and extreme sports. They don't take their gear off to go into a sauna? Then the third fact and final fact, Sun Valley, Idaho. I did a video on Sun Valley. That's one card, when I see it, I pick it up. Most of the time I really don't care what the price is unless it's really out of this world. But a lot of people don't know about Sun Valley, Idaho. And you want to watch that video because you're going to see them in lots and stuff like that, and you can miss them. So those are good ones. Most of the time. I'm not saying everyone is. Sun Valley, Idaho holds the distinction of being one of the premier destinations for snow skiing in the USA. Established in 1936, Sun Valley Resort was America's first destination ski resort. It gained fame as a winter retreat for celebrities and played a pivotal role in shaping the ski industry's growth in the country. With its stunning landscapes and world-class amenities, Sun Valley continues to be a cherished hub for skiing enthusiasts. So check out that video. I'll throw it up here again. Sun Valley. That's the thumbnail. You can't click on that and go there, but you can look through my store or my channel and you can see all the videos, and it's Sun Valley, Idaho. It's an interesting video I did there. But that's a little bit about skiing. I'm not a skier. I water skied and stuff like that, but I never snow skied. I don't think I ever even tried it. I'd probably fall. But do they sell? So I usually use this little range. And today we're really going to get into range because you're going to see why. This is a little tougher one. Most of them are a little difficult once in a while to get stuff out of your query and get the right number. But this one, you get water skiing and different things. And I'll show you this other thing I found. But the low ones, 0 to 3%, QSL cards, Cypress Gardens, Mount Vernon, Niagara Falls. I try to stay away from those. Not that they won't sell, they're just not the best sellers. Then the average and high, 4 to 10% on the chart, the green, is where I work. So if I find any of those cards for a good price, I usually pick them up because I know they have an average sell-through rate. They will sit, but I do sell them. Some of them move a little faster. It depends on saved searches, what people are looking for. And then while I'm looking for those, I usually find the dark green, the 11% and above. You know, McDonald's, Wiki Watching, Mermaid, Disney, Sun Valley. Different things like that are in your very high category, very sought after cards, and they will move. But I don't just hunt for those. I look for the average and I find top ones, and then I do get some low. Everybody buys cards, think they're cool, and they're just get them home and look at them and they're just average cards or below. You're going to have that. Do what you want with them and stuff. I will still list some of them, but a lot of times I throw them in the flea market bucket and it goes to a lady I know, a couple that resell, and they do other things with them. I just don't spend the time on them. And you'll get to know what those cards are. But sell-through rate is sold divided by listed. I just go into eBay and I typed in postcard space skiing. Boy, did I get a lot of stuff. More than normal. And I just click sold, which clicks completed. And not real complicated. It gives me a number at the top. I just look at it. It says 1,700 plus probably. So I take the 1,700. Then I go in and unclick the sold and completed, and I get the listed. I get 13,000 plus. I just take the little 13,000. So you take 1,700, the sold 1,700 divided by the listed 13,000, times it by 100 to get a solid percent. I round up or down, and I got a 9% sell-through rate. Now, if you look at that chart, it's in the high category. It's right in the middle, so it gives us a little bit of room to go left or right, low or high. So I would say skiing is a high, no matter what you're going to see here. On what I'm going to show you in some of the things, that's what the ranges do. It gives me a little bit of play, so I know it's in the high. It's not very high, and it's not low, and it's not red. It's a high card, so it's a sought after card. You want to look for these cards. But you want to see if you're in the ballpark in that high category by bumping it up against a few other things, and I did that here. So I did Postcard Ski Resort, which was 1,400. They had the word ski resort in there. That amazed me because I thought it would jump up a little bit more with the word resort and stuff, and it didn't. And I did it a few times. That came up to be 15%. So they're sought after cards, and that's up in the very high, and it's pretty well above the 11 and above there. So ski resorts. Then ski lodge. Everybody knows ski lodge. There's only 996, 14%. So I think the item specifics and the titles, they're not getting these in there. There's got to be more of these with 13,000 skiing, but these are a little lower. So you can take that 15 and 14% there and kind of say, okay, I'm still in the very high. Could be high. So you got to play with it a little bit. It's not exact science. You got to use your gut. So these cards, my 9%, I think I'm okay. And then I put sledding. It's a winter sport. There's 5,500, 15%. Probably a lot of holiday cards fell in there. So 15, 14, 15, and then skiing's 9. I would say I'm okay saying this is a high card. That's how I use this, and then I move on. I'm not going to dig down and I'm not going to go through 13,000 cards and remove everything just to get a number. It just gives me in the ballpark. So if I see skiing, if I look through a white box of cards and I'm thumbing through it real quick, you cannot comp every card at a show. You can't take a picture and look on your phone for every card. You're going to never get done with that box. You're going to be there all day, stay in one booth, and the guy's going to think you're crazy. You're locking up his cards. So you just got to go with your gut and learn these little tricks, not tricks, but little things about sell-through rate. What's cool usually sells, but sometimes you're not for sure, and this helps you learn. Helps me learn is what it does. That's why I share it. So if I'm going through a box of cards and I see skiing, I'm going to pull them out. And then I'm going to look through them real quick and say, yeah, oh, there's a Sun Valley. Okay, what do they want for these? 25 cents a card, $1 box. Sure, I'll pick them up. I know they're high. They're going to sell a little bit better over the average than the low cards. So that's kind of what I do. I might lose on a few, but I might gain on some Sun Valleys. So if I buy 100 cards for $10 or $100, let's say I bought 100 there, and I paid $5 for half of them, and then I paid 25 cents for the other ones. I look at the average for the whole 100. So maybe I come out $1 card. So that when I go to auctions and I buy 10 lots or 3 lots, one I paid 100, one I paid 500, one I paid 200. I take that as a total and I divide it by how many items I got, and that's what I do. And that's how I price my things when I do the lots and stuff like that. But that's sell-through rate, so it's a high card. And it could be very high, but I think it's about a little bit of keyword stuffing in here to make sure you're in ski resort there. Now when I was doing sell-through rate, I got this. I got a whole page and a half, 2 pages of clothes. And look at this. Woman's postcard ski coat, Cermet size 8 with tags, resell for $1,150. And they took a best offer on $185. Now I wouldn't put all that in the title, but I don't know the clothes category. Maybe that's a good title. But did the person just put it in all different categories to see if they could sell it? That's what I first thought through my mind. They're in the wrong category. They're trying to do that. But notice in the title, postcard. What are they trying to do here, I was thinking? Not that I'm going to call them out or send them a message or whatever. If they were in there, it's not. I don't police eBay. I'm not the hall monitor of eBay. I'm not. They can do what they want. That's their problem. Because no one's looking for a postcard is going to buy a coat. But look at this other. I'm going to zoom in on the code and look at the tag on there. The brand is SMPostcard. The brand is Postcard. It took me a few minutes to figure this out, even though it's sitting right in front of me. Right away I thought this guy was in the wrong category. But it's a brand. And then you try to go out there and you got to remove the word postcard out of your query, minus postcard. That didn't work because I didn't have any postcards. So I had to manually count on the first pages to get through this and remove that from my sell-through rate. But that's what you'll see. But the first thing popped in, wrong category. Wrong category. They're doing it wrong. I'm the police of eBay. I'm going to call them out. I'm going to report them. That's what a lot of people do. That's how sometimes your listings get removed or flagged or whatever. But no, I had to do a little digging, and they're right. It's postcard brand. So be careful out there. Just don't jump to conclusions on what people are doing. But when I do this, when I go out and start looking for pricing, sell-through rate is how many cards are moving through the system. It's not all the other stuff about pricing, whatever, but that can affect the sell-through rate is what you price it for and what people price things. You got to take it as a whole and just make a deduction. Go with it. But I usually do the extreme. I want to go out there and find the high, and I do that. I throw out the $15,000 ones, the graded ones. I wait until I see a consistent high, extreme high cards I call it, where it's consistent. I throw the outliers away. I throw the real low ones away. So now my little stack of cards to look at is a little bit better. Gives me a better average. I found these 3. First one's an older Mickey Mouse card. Ski Pluto. There's Pluto and Mickey on there. Postcard Japan. That's a good keyword to get in there. Japan Disney postcard. $75 is they got that. It's a vertical card with Mickey. So $75. Then the next one is a picture. It's a real photo postcard. Elegant Miss Emma Thompson ski jumping. Truckee, California, circa 1910. $59.50. Now people say, how do they get these circa numbers, or how do you date RPPC? Sometimes they're not posted and not for sure. Well, in the Ko-Fi store, for free, I have these 2 reference tools. I don't know where I got them. I copied them. maybe somewhere, whatever, but it's just, basically the first one is I got all the eras written down. I can never remember the exact dates, like linen is 1930 to 1945, white border 15 to 30. I get them screwed up all the time. I'm not a good face or date thing, so I have this in a rigid top, semi-rigid top loader, and I put the eras there so I can just real quick remember. And then with real photo postcards, the stamp box, if it's not covered by a stamp and it's on one of these things, this will give you a little thing like they put here, circa 1910. So if I have an AZO stamp box, it'll say AZO, and I got squares in all four corners, it's from 1927 to 1940. If I have a Kodak, 1950 to present, a Psycho, CYKO, 1904 to 1920s, I'd say circa 1910. It'll give you a little thing to put in your title to know what that is. Those are in the Ko-Fi store. They're free on the download. There's a free download. You can save them on your desktop or laptop or whatever, or you can print them out. Or if you want me to send you a card like that, that's in there, and I'll just plop it in an envelope with a stamp. You just basically pay for the card, the envelope, and mailing. So they're free. So check out the Ko-Fi store. A lot of stuff in there. But that's a really neat card, real photo postcard, $60. Went in an auction, and they had 5 bids on it. I don't know who Miss Emma Thompson is. Rings a bell, but I'm not for sure. If anybody out there, put it in the comments if they know. Like I said, names and dates and stuff just doesn't click sometimes. But $60. So we're looking at 2 cards, 75, 60. So we're in the $60 to $70 range, I would say. And then you got Twin Bridges. These cards do well when they have skiing and the name of the resort and stuff. Twin Bridges, California, Highway 50, Sierra Ski Ranch, Pixie, circa 1970 postcard. A lot of keyword stuff in there. It doesn't read. I like titles that read. That's just what I like. Some people do stuff and they sell. They sold this thing for $60 and 3 bids. So it's not all about titles, all about scans. It's the whole package, is what I say. All the best practices, and we're going to talk about another one in the coming videos and stuff. But it's all about putting the full package together. There's not one thing that you can do in a listing to sell all your cards today. But if you're consistent, you back up your stuff, you have what people want with a good price to sell. People are looking for deals nowadays, always. They're going to come back. And you package well, and you do all the right things, you're going to sell postcards. But if you go out there and you just pick and choose what you're putting up all the time, not a good variety, and your prices are higher, you're not shipping with eBay standard envelope, get the good shipping rates, you don't have returns or whatever, you don't do this, you don't do that, you take photos on a bedspread, all that stuff is the full package, where normal regular people, their package looks a little bit better. That's what sells. But then you get into the average stuff I see with pricing. This is the stuff that I see every day. It's a little higher. It's a high watermark. We got the high watermark. Now we're at this watermark. This kind of tells me what's the highest average that I'm probably going to sell a card for. Those other extreme ones I'm going to find every once in a while, but this is the high water mark on the stuff you see every day in lots, and you can pull out, go to shows, you can find them at garage sales, antique malls, online, whatever. But the first one here is a Santa. Brown satchel. With tree toward young girl. That would be Christmas tree. And Merry Christmas. So that title is all over the place, but it could kick off some searches, and they have the inventory in the end. $40. It's still sold. It's a red Santa. Now I usually don't do a lot of holiday, Easter, Thanksgiving, Valentine's. They're just longer term stuff. Now like leap year, I do a little bit more. New Year's, I don't do much. The number of cards, it just depends, each one a little different. But the Santas I look for are brown, blue, purple, green, the stuff with the velvet like fur on them, Krampus, different things like that. The red Santas usually I just don't jump on them as much. It's kind of like the Halloween cards. I got a bunch of Halloween cards. I paid up on those cards, the clap saddles and all the different ones, and those are originals, not reproductions. They've been sitting here for a while, and they will sit. on the higher price ones. So you got to have these average ones to get them moved there. But a red Santa with a Christmas tree, I would have probably passed on it. But they got $40. It's just whatever you had experience with. Next one is school children, skis, Benson Hill teacher Selma Adlin. They did some homework. Unless it's written on the back who this teacher was. RP, real photo postcard, antique, $35. That one could have went a little bit more, I think. But they probably got what they wanted. But it's not a bad price, but it might have been a little bit more. Maybe in an auction? I don't know. You never know. But if they paid $1 for that card and they got 35, why balk about it? Go out and buy some more cards. Next one is a really neat one I like, because I like signs on postcards. This is a retro looking sign. It's Postcard Pennsylvania, Legionnaire, Pennsylvania, Laurel Mountain Ski Slopes sign. 1940s, unposted. You can put that in the item specific. $32. Is that another one they could have bumped it up a little bit? Maybe went a little high and threw just a C for a while? I don't know. But 1940 is probably a chrome card. $32. So if we look through all these, 39, 35, 32, I'd say $30 to $35 is your high average. So if you get $30 to $35, you pay a good price for it. It's not too bad. So this is why skiing is high. But it's more subject directed on there and stuff like that. But Sun Valley is a good one to pick up. Have you guys sold any good skiing cards? So send them in to show and tell to contact SMPostcards.com. John sent me one, and I'm going to have in the show and tell. It's of a ski lodge that he got. It's a real photo postcard that he sold, and I'll show you that one in the show and tell in the coming videos. But I got about a good folder of stuff, so I'll be putting another show and tell coming up. But if you got anything that you want to show your setup, have you done something where you got a show, took a picture, had a real good sale on a postcard that we should be on the lookout for and stuff like that, or just to rub it in what you're doing, or if you got a lot of cards, you got a picture of everything you bought, let us know, share. It's not all about me, not what I do. Not everything I do is probably right, but it works for me. It works for some reason. I've justified to myself what I'm doing is okay. I've been successful. Yeah, I'm selling postcards, I'm making money, and I'm able to do my life. So I think I'm successful in my mind. So if you're successful, or you're just starting out, you got a new scanner and your setup and everything, send a picture. I love seeing setups. But that's skiing. Check them out, Sun Valley. I'm going to keep saying that. Who knew? Now we're going to get into a poll. And it's something that's out there, but I don't think it's a real, it's kind of like the newsletter. I think you should have one, but I wouldn't bank my business on it. And followers is just another piece to fill in the puzzle. You know, you do the edges of the puzzle first. Some people do. Some people start in the middle, some corners. I'm one of those edge guys. I like finding, because those are easy to find. And that's what this is. It's just one of those things to fill the frame out on the puzzle. So, hey, I can do this corner one, that's the newsletter. I do this corner, that's the followers. I do this here, I do that here, you know, stuff like that, and I fill in the puzzle. And that's, you're just trying to fill in the eBay pieces. And this is just another one of those pieces, but I don't think it's a real big piece. But we'll see. But the poll that I sent out was, if you have eBay store, how many followers do you have? So up in the top, it's going to say, you know, positive feedback, how many items you sold, and then it'll say followers when people see your store, your name. And I wanted to know, because my number is going to be a little skewed. You don't want to go by my number, because I got the channel, the YouTube channel and stuff like that. I've been doing it for a while. I'm probably not a good one to look at, because it's influenced by all these other variables, but I wanted to see how much it's influenced. Is it a real number to me? Or people are just watching me because I have the channel? I think that's a lot of it, so I can't be for sure, but be careful. Oh, Mark's at this many and I don't have this many. I could be influenced by other things. So I don't really know the real number because of that. If I was not having a YouTube channel and some other things I do and stuff like that, would I really have this number? I don't know. I don't think so, is my opinion. But I said, if you have an eBay store, how many followers you have? So if you don't have an eBay store and you're selling postcards, you need to get a store, is my recommendation. Start with a basic starter. A premium store like I have, you can have 10,000 listings, plus they give you 50,000 free listings. So that's 60,000 listings you can have, and I pay like $60 a month. You can do all the markdowns. Get the number of listings off the table. If you're counting how many, I can't list anything right now for the rest of the month, and it's the 24th of the month, I gotta wait until the end of the month to list because I'll get charged. You want to get that off the table. When you take money and listings off the table, the conversation changes. Get a store with 1,000, whatever. You can't start right when you first start selling postcards. They're not going to allow you to sell, 10,000, whatever. Every month it's going to grow, and pretty soon you're going to get to a point where you really don't even. I don't even look at the number of listings that often and stuff because I don't get charged for them. I pay for a store. So you want to get that out of the way. Plus with a store you can do all the different things that I'm talking about here. Without that, you're pleasing eBay more than you're pleasing the customer. You want to get off the porch and play with the big dogs. So a store is the way to go. So if you have a store, how many followers? I said 1 to 100. That was the highest. 61% have 100 or less followers. I didn't think that number would be there. I thought it was going to be in the 2 to 400 would be the highest and go down from there. But the lowest there. So how do you get followers? That's what I said with the YouTube channel. That probably helps me get followers. But how do you raise that number? Anybody got any comments on how to do that? The 100 to 200 is 18% the second. So they're in the 200 to 1 is the highest ones. And then 2 to 400 is 500 is 8%, and then 500 plus is 7. Then other is 5. But this totally kind of proved to me, in my opinion, that my channel is probably giving me more followers, because that's a pretty low number. So I had a couple comments from people about this poll. Three-wheeler said, what I'd give to know who the followers are. I think one day, was it on YouTube or eBay, that you could know who followed you. I can't remember which one it was. I probably would never look that deep, but if some people want to see who they are, in there, I think it used to be. I'm not for sure. Does anybody know if it used to be able to see? And then Biff Buffalo says, followers don't mean much unless they buy. Yes, they should buy. I agree. But I think it's another piece of the puzzle. If it's not a big piece, like you're saying, but I just think it's one of those things you should just keep an eye on. I wouldn't base my business on it and say if I don't have followers, I'm not going to sell postcards or whatever. It's just another piece of the puzzle to get the framework together. And he said, ask how many positive feedback points people have received in the last 12 months. With postcards, these people leave feedback. When I had action figures and other stuff, I got feedback, but nothing like postcards. These people, postcard people, are the nicest, dedicated people I've worked with in anything I've sold, online or in a brick and mortar place. They're just, a lot of them are patient and stuff like that. And so if you get a lot of feedback, like I said in the beginning, I don't base my business on the feedback, refunds, or inconsistent sales. I don't make snap decisions on those three things. I do it as a trend for the month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. By 6 months, I want to know that I'm going to make my numbers that I'm trying to shoot for there. If I'm not making those numbers, then I start cutting my expenses, what I'm buying, my inventory. I don't go jack up my prices because that's going to bring sales down. Because now I'm the higher priced. I've already done my homework on it and stuff like that. I reduce my cost. You don't want to play catch up at 9 months for the year. It's not fun. You want to catch up before the year end. But I wanted to get a little bit more information about followers. So I went out to the Reddit forum. And I'll tell you how many followers I have here in a second. You can see it. I can tell you right now. 996. So I almost have 1,000 followers. I'm 4 away from that. That's way above the poll here. That's why I said I think it's influenced by the channel more. But I went to and I found a Reddit forum popped up. And I grabbed a few key comments I think that helps me think about this. One of them was, as a follower, you can go back to sellers you like and make repeat purchases, or check out what new stuff they have if you like their style of offerings. So when people follow a store, I follow a lot of people, but I have lunch boxes, other things I do, some electronic components and stuff like that, because I don't want to go hunting for them again. I want to find the guy that I bought it to before that was good. I'll follow that seller and stuff like that. So that's what I use it for, and that's what I think a lot of followers here is. Also, your newsletters, if you set up a newsletter, I think it sends it to the followers. Plus, I get emails all the time from eBay. Hey, Joe Blow Postcard Store just listed this, or they changed the price. So I think if you're following, you're getting those messages from eBay. So that helps. The other comment I found, followers can't hurt, but I doubt unless you have hundreds that it makes a huge bump. Even if you got hundreds, I don't think it's the biggest bump. It's not going to change the meter that much. But every follower is a possible return buyer or future customer. I thought I said it right there. Then the last comment from the Reddit forum. It is a way to build a customer base. Yes, you want to build a base of reputation and stuff like that. I'm going through some stuff right now where I'm buying and putting together some stuff. And I'm going to talk about reputation and why I picked what I picked and use it as a part of a thing and see what people think. It makes it a bit easier to view particular listings from a seller you are following. Also, my followers get get email notifications when I put up new listings. Yeah, the newsletter goes out, I get different emails here and there, so there is some marketing that eBay does, I think, for the store and the followers. So I think there's a little bit to the puzzle piece. What do you guys think? I'd like to see some more comments about followers, and how would you grow that? I've been watching a number every month. I write it down. I've been doing it for a couple of years just to see. It's just one of those little key indicators. I don't put a lot of stock into it, but I usually gain 8 to 10 a month. I lose some, I gain some. Some months I go down, some months I go up. So about 8 to 10 a month is the average that I grow, and it's taken over time. What do you think? Thanks for participating in the poll. They go out every Saturday between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Central Time. And if you do vote on it and you don't put a comment, there's no way I can see what that person is or anybody can see. It's just a number, it's just a vote. If you put a comment, it'll put your name and stuff, and I consider them public and using videos and stuff like that. If you want to send me an email, contact at SMPostcards.com. I treat them a little more privately. But make sure you subscribe. Hit that little bell icon. The little thing in the corner here makes it easy. And you'll be notified, hopefully, when I put these out. That's the poll. Now, I picked out 5 viewer comments because a couple of them are pretty quick. I always end the videos with viewer comments because that's what this is about. Not just what I do, it's what other people are asking. Then I give you my opinion. These are more ad-lib. I don't script them out, the answers. I probably replied to them in messaging or emails or whatever. But if you want to put a comment in YouTube, I consider it public and can be used in videos. Please do not try to send me a message in eBay. I can't put links in there, addresses, or different things like that, and eBay is going to spank me. I probably won't get to a point where I won't respond to eBay messages about the channel and different things. I always have them go out and leave a comment on a video or find my email. If you want a more private conversation with me, just send me an email. Contact SMPostcards.com. I think I've gotten back to everybody. Sometimes I might be a little busy, but I'll try to get back in 1 to 3 days back to you. If I haven't got back to you, send it again. Tell me to wake up. But I got 5 comments here. First one, CyberDan, longtime viewer of the channel, said, yes, my USS Illinois BB-7 did sell with Great White Fleet in the subject line. So I did a video about the Great White Fleet. That's when all the battleships and stuff went around the world during Theodore Roosevelt time to market our Navy and show all the force we have. Did a whole video about it. And I'm wanting to learn more because I got a lot of these ships and people ask me, and I didn't know a lot about, even though I got a lot of ships. I'm not a Navy historian. I learned a lot about researching for that video, and I have a lot of cards that were part of that Great White Fleet. And one of the things I wanted to do this year, and I got it written down as a goal, go find all those ship cards, those naval ship cards I got, and make sure if it's one of the ones and I show you in that video how to look for those. If it's Great White Fleet, put it in the title and sell. Well, in one of the things, I think I asked Dan, let us know if it's sold, and it's sold. He put Great White Fleet in the subject line, which wasn't there, and I listed it January 8th, and it sold the 11th, 2 days. So Great White Fleet, I do have different ones that I've sold. Now I understand why I sell a bit more. Thanks, Dan. Then B Hat Music. So in the Ko-Fi store, the shipping, there's not a lot of whistles and bells. I have to put a flat rate in there and stuff like that. And if it sells with another item, and I got a refund excessive. So if it's $2 and over $2, I usually refund. Depends, $2.30, maybe not. Under $2, I don't refund. And I just say excessive shipping will be. So if you buy 3 things and it says $15 shipping and it costs me $7, you're going to get $8 back, basically $7, $8 back. It just depends on there. But I've had some people. There's international in there, but it doesn't give you the whistles and bells. And I wasn't going to open this up to the world and have something shipped to some place that's going to cost me $100 to ship something I could ship in the States for $10. I've been burned before. So I've been very careful about Ko-Fi. But I opened it up to Canada, and I said, and this person said, speaking as a Canadian and a follower of your channel, this is a great idea. Finding U.S. postcards in Canada is challenging. I've heard that a lot from the Canadian people, that finding postcards is hard. I don't live up there, so I don't know. Yet they have been my best sellers since getting into postcards about a year ago. Yeah. Now the lots I sell are usually 100 lots. I put them up there, and you can see 10. I put 10 to 12 photos and collages, and I put 10 collages, so you can see the front of every card that you're picking out. So if you like trains and you see a lot of trains in a lot, you can buy them. And I package them up, and you get 1 pack of sleeves with every 100 cards, basically. Every lot, I throw a pack of sleeves in. So if you buy 3 lots, you're going to get 300 cards plus 300 sleeves and 3 packs. And then the shipping will be figured out and stuff like that. So I open it up to Canada, and how that works, just for people to do, if you see something and you live not in the U.S. and internationally, you send me a message in Ko-Fi or email, whatever, and say, these are items I'm looking at. Now remember, if it's a lot, it could sell by the time we get all this done. I don't hold. I don't do any holds. I never have. I'm not going to hold stuff and manage it that way. You can buy it, and I can refund you, and different things too, if you really want it. But just talk to me. I can do some things. I'm not a hard line saying no, no, no. But I try not to hold. Let's put it that way. But you send me what you want. I put it in a box. I weigh it. You send me the address. I go over and I put it in the pirate ship. It gives me a number. I go into PayPal. I invoice you exactly what the shipping is. I don't make money on shipping. I try not to. Even in eBay, I don't give my discount away, but shipping is not a money maker for me. Never has been. It's just an expense that needs to be managed. And then I send it and let you review it. If you like it, or we can adjust it, and then you go in and buy the stuff, or you pay for through PayPal, not Ko-Fi, and then I box it up and I send it to you. And that's basically how it's worked. I use pirate ship to ship it out. I just sent a 10-pound box of stuff to somebody in Canada, and it was a pretty good order. Now shipping was like $60. So it's just and I talked to pirate ship because I thought it was a little excessive, and they said, no, that's the correct address and that's what it costs. I said, okay. So I put it up there and I sent it to her, and she bought it. So I guess it was a good deal. I mean, shipping $60 to Canada, that's a lot. But I don't ship that often anymore international. But thanks, B-Hat. Then Happy Bunny came in. Said, another really interesting video, thanks. The airport on the beach in Scotland sounds really romantic. Happy Bunny, I think you're in the UK, right? If I got it right. Remember, I'm not good with names, faces, places, and stuff. The airport on the beach in Scotland sounds really romantic. I think it sounds dreadful landing on a beach and taking off. Until you remember exactly how windy and cold Scotland is. Also, I think you may have omitted one other important use for the community tab. Sal's jokes. Yeah, he's a comedian. He puts these dad jokes for birds out all the time. He's always talking to me over here. I'm still figuring out my storage system. This is where we get into the inventory and how people start out and change. I tell people you're probably going to change your inventory 2 or 3 times when you start. Don't fall in the thing, I'm going to do the best wheel and invent the wheel. It's going to change. You're going to see something somebody does. Oh, I like that. But if you're 1,000 cards and under, it's not hard to change. But once you get up to 5,000, 10,000, like me, 50-some thousand cards, I ain't changing. I'm not going to go through these cards and do that. 50,000 listing with 100,000 cards. It is what it is. That's the way I do it. It worked. I'm not going to sit there and do that. She's figuring out our storage system, which is good. You're getting a plan. I store standard and continental size cards in different boxes, but still trying to figure out the best system for know which box each card is stored in, so I can find it with minimum effort. That's the key. I'm trying to scan and block, so I do a block of standard cards and a block of continental, so I can have, say, 1 to 100 as a standard cards in one box and 101 in continental in another box, and so on. Not sure if this helped, but it's a starting point. Yeah, you're starting to figure out. Now my question to everybody is, do you put standard and continental cards in the same box? I do. It's just another card to me. I don't buy postcards that don't fit in my box. Or if I get them, I put them over here and I send them to that other reseller that I send stuff to. They get stuff in Ko-Fi and I stuff their boxes with panoramic postcards, stuff that I don't list, and they use it for junk journals or whatever. I don't want to deal with it. Instead of destroying them, I give it to people there. I used to sell them at the flea market, but now I have another out. My bucket is right here. I've showed this many times. Right here it's about half, well, getting about half full. These are all things that I don't list as I went through and found. I just toss them in here. And I mean, there's different things. I mean, these cards, they do different things with them. So I just throw it in the bucket. When the bucket gets full, I box it up, send it to them. They do stuff with them. So I don't buy cards that don't fit my boxes. And Ko-Fi is like that too. I got certain boxes I use. I don't buy the big things. I don't want to ship big things. I want to ship the little things. But do you put standard and continentals in the same box? Mine is I could have one standard card, number 100, and 101 is a continental card, 104 is a standard, 105 is a continental. It just number, or they stick up a little bit in the box, but I don't have that many continentals and it doesn't bother me. I just do it numerical. But I think Happy came back with the people are commenting in YouTube, and don't be afraid to comment on other people's comments in YouTube. Get a conversation going, and that's how we learn. I learn too. I've learned from comments on other people. But that's how I do it. Some people have separate boxes, and they put a C in front of it. Me, I don't like the C100A, row 1 or shelf 1, box A, number 40. It's just, I don't, my mind doesn't think that way. Me, it's just boxes. When I had shelves in the storage unit, I just put box number 1, and I just went down the line. I think I had 150 boxes in my storage units that I sold action figures and stuff that I pulled out of over there. So if I sold it in box 3, I just look in box 3. If I sold in box 40, I look in box 4. I don't care what shelf it was on. Everything was in numerical order. The boxes, just like my postcards. That's how I think. But some people make it harder. You're the only one basically going in your inventory. If you make it real hard, nobody can help you. Some people don't even use numbers or SKUs and stuff. But there's 2 ways to do inventory that I see. One way is you get 2 dividers. You put number 1 on here, put number 2 on this one. Or you can put letters, whatever you want. And then you put them in a box, and in between there you put about 50 cards. And you keep that full, so when you list it, you put in the SKU number 1. And then when you do 2 to 3, you put in the SKU number in the custom label field 2. So when it sells, you only have to go through and do 50 cards to find that card. Me, I started out differently, and I've gotten to a point where I can't change. Either way works fine. It's very easy to do both ways. I started with numbers, but I changed my inventory 3 times. The first time I thought, oh, I'll remember this, but then all the green cards looked green, and I was pulling the wrong cards, it was taking me. So I changed it up, and I put a number on I put a sleeve and a little label on each card, and I do them in numerical order, and it works fine. It is what it is, but that's the two ways that I recommend to do. Some people use boxes, some people use tubs. I started with white boxes. If I started with tubs, I would be in tubs. It doesn't really matter. Just as long as it doesn't take you hours, 15, 20 minutes to find a postcard every time. If you got to jump through hoops, you're going to hate selling postcards, especially when you get an order for 30 postcards. I've had an order up to 100, 120 cards. It does take a while, but your shipping, you got to be in there. So whatever you want to do, Happy, let us know how it comes out. Take a picture of how you're working on it and send it to Show and Tell. Because a lot of people out there are starting out or gotten to a point where they're going to need to change. And I've showed my inventory, but there's other ways to do it. Just pick what you want to do. There's no right or wrong way. It's how your mind thinks in the room you have, the boxes you want, your budget, and stuff like that. The boxes I get cost me about $30 to $40 for 10 of them. It's just the ones I use. I could probably go to Amazon or other places and get them cheaper, but I started with these and I like everything the same way, and I'm kind of stuck with what I have. So there's no right or wrong way of doing this. But if you need help, reach out and I can help guide you if I can. Thanks, Happy, as always. And then three-wheeler coming again. Thank you for a good video. How do you manage the dust? Also, what label maker is printing the labels for your dividers? Have a great week. How I manage the dust, and I'll see if I can put a thing up here when I do the video on Amazon. But I have a Medify air purifier for the office. Every weekly I go through and get the garbage and the boxes and stuff. I clean up the office and I dust around and stuff like that because cards will get dust. And I'm in the basement too, so I do get a little dust down here. And I try to keep it up, but the dust is what I do. I go through, I start in one corner of the office and I work all the way around. I just get rid of the junk. I'm not a hoarder. I get rid of stuff. And I get a lot of dust, so I have that Medify air and I put HEPA filters. I change them out. I let it go through 2 cycles and then I change it, because you can run out of money buying those filters, but that has reduced my dust considerably in the office. I don't have the, I can't run my finger across stuff like I used to and see the dust. So that's worked out well. And then the labels, he asked what label is printing the labels for the dividers. So with my postcards, they all have a number, and he asked me what am I using for that. So I use 1 inch by 1 inch permanent labels, and I use the Dymo Label Writer 450 Turbo. So I use a Dymo to print those out, and here's a picture of it here. Now it helps me the way I do my inventory, and it can help other people. So I was talking to a friend of mine who's a reseller, and he's changing to the way I'm doing it and modifying a little bit with things, because he's getting bigger. He's got 5,000 to 10,000 cards or whatever. So he's getting bigger and it's getting a little harder and harder, but he wanted something simpler, and so he decided he's going to try that. He's doing it, so he did all the ones the way he did before, and starting going forward, he's doing the number system. Now he's doing the divider system before, but he was doing different things. So going forward, he's not going to go back and change all the ones he had, he said. He'll just going forward. He wanted to know about the labels. And going back and forth, he bought a little label maker thing and stuff, because he's not big, but he does enough. And I'm sitting there, well, maybe I can print these out for people. So in Ko-Fi, you can get 3 rolls of these labels with the numbers already printed. I'll print them out for you. I got the rolls. You get 3 rolls, 1,500 labels, 500 a roll, and just tell me the starting number, and I'll print them out for you and mail them off to you. It's basically the cost of the labels, cost of my time, and stuff like that. And I showed in another video my little roller thing. So I've done that. I've sold about 8 or 10 of those setups now. So if you need labels, just use me. It's not hard for me to do. I think it's a reasonable price for the time it takes and using my equipment. But writing down each number, 1, 2, you're going to make mistakes. Trying to put the card back in. So if I sold card 40 and card 46, Or if I sold this card, 3720, I'm not going to reuse that number. I'm not going to go over and find 3420. I just keep moving forward. You're going to make mistakes. Plus, it takes too much time. For a $4 card, I can't spend that much time. So I just keep filling the box. I'm not going to run out of numbers. And my lowest number's up in the number 1 box. My highest is the number 114 box. And when the boxes get loose, I start pushing them back toward number 1. It's just the way I do it. Thanks, Willa. You got any more questions, anybody, about these equipment I have in the office, just let me know. Not saying it's the best in the world, it just works for me. It could work for you. So the last comment here is, I have an Epson scanner, and my scans for real photos, postcards, look weird. Is it the scanner or a defect with the scanner? And he went on and he said that if it's really white, it looks like a negative. I know exactly what that is. You need to set it to color, but if you go into the Ko-Fi store, and that's the reason I put it here, it says help so many people. It's free. It's free. So I got the Epson 400, the Epson 580W or 580, and I got the little 60W. I got the settings that I use in a document. You can download it for free. It says pay what you want. Just put 0 there. I don't care. It helps so many people. And a lot of people come back and said they've worked for them. So that's how you can fix your scans. If that doesn't fix it, there could be something else going on. I probably can't go any deeper with any technical stuff, but I give you the settings, and it's helped so many people. So go into the store, and I showed you here what it is that will help you. It definitely will help you. There's one little setting that'll fix this. You change it to color, and it's in the document on there. But that's it. Skiing is great. Watch out for those categories. People put in categories you think's wrong. Don't jump to conclusion like I did at first. Everybody, we're human. We're going to do that. Thanks for watching. Here's some more fish. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.